welcome to a new video of Soothe Space. This is your self-care channel. I love everything self-care, and we talk about everything spiritual, mental, and physical well-being. So welcome. If you're new here, I'm Hannah Anderson. I am a mindset coach from Sweden, and I specialize in self-care that is truly emphasized on your inner well-being. So one of my favorite slogans is that you have all that you need within to win, and I truly believe that, and I believe in your spiritual, mental, and physical daily win. So that's what I do. I help my clients create a self-care routine that is truly tapping into the spiritual, mental, and the physical when it comes to our well-being. So welcome. Today we're going to talk about forgiveness and a little bit of grief, but mostly it's going to be about forgiveness and the truly power of forgiveness and what it means to forgive. It's something I'm super passionate about. It's something I had to learn truly the hard way, but when you understand what forgiveness does for your own mental, spiritual, and physical well-being, you truly understand that it's such a superpower to know how to forgive and how to let go. So yeah, if you're new here and if you like this content, please like, subscribe, share with any friend that you might think needs this. Also, I just love the idea of creating a community. So if you have any feedback, if you have any comments, questions, please reach out, please just comment, and yeah, let's just build a beautiful, soothing community where we can be here for each other. Life can be truly mental, it can be so crazy, and I think it's so important that we're here to support each other and just help each other thrive. You know, I've gone from living in survival and now just wanting to truly thrive and enjoy life, and I think, yeah, let's just do that together. All right, so today I want to talk about forgiveness, and I know that this can be a little bit of a triggering topic for a lot of people, because if you've been hurt or if you're struggling to forgive people, I know the pain of that. So I'm gonna take it back to when I had to learn about forgiveness and what that looks like. So my mother suddenly passed away, and during that time we were in a really difficult time in our relationship. I had to remove myself because of just a dynamic that had been going on for a very long time, and like anyone on a journey to kind of like become, just when you're healing and become more empowered, you sometimes need space and you need boundaries. So I had made the decision to have some space in between our relationship. Drug and alcohol abuse became really hard to maintain a relationship, so I wasn't really in a good space when my mom passed away. We hadn't spoken for a while, and maybe one day I'll go deeper into that, but just have that as that's the scene. So my mom dies very abrupt, and it obviously shocked me to the core. It's the most painful thing I've ever been through, and there was so much that we actually needed to heal, that conversation that was needed to have, things that I felt like I wanted her to take accountability for, things that I needed to take accountability for, but we were not in a space to have that conversation. Now she passes away, which means that there's not going to be an opportunity to have that conversation again. And for 2 months, I think it was, I was so depressed. I couldn't get out of bed. I was really struggling with how my life had turned out, that, you know, after all the pain and suffering that we've been through, both my mom and me, that was the path that life took us on. So I was really struggling. I think for 2 months I barely could get out of bed. And then I started to hike. I felt very drawn to nature for some reason. I felt like I was living in Spain, and I felt very drawn to spend more time in nature. So the time that I could get out of bed, I would go out hiking. Now, obviously I was really struggling with a lot of shame, a lot of guilt that I couldn't be more and do more for my mom in that time before she died. I was really struggling to like how all these emotions that I didn't know how to process, I didn't know what to do with anymore because I could never have a conversation with her again. So I start to hear a voice, like something is telling me forgiveness. And trust me, where I was in my own inner state, I did not know how to forgive her for everything that I perceived that she had done to cause me pain and suffering throughout my entire life. I did not know how to forgive myself for not being able to be more unconditional in my love when she was obviously struggling and suffering with a lot of things where I felt like, you know, I was the child, she was the mom. I didn't have that space or capacity at that moment to just let things go. I needed time for myself to process everything that's happened. So in that, obviously she passing away and there's no opportunity for me to be more love in her life, I felt so much shame, I felt so much guilt. I just did not know what to do with that because I couldn't tell her anymore. So I hear this voice and it's loud, it says forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. And trust me, it's like when you're so far away, like these were not my thoughts and my feelings. I just did not know how to forgive. And forgiveness was just such a far-fetched concept for me when I was dealing with the grief that I was dealing with. So I'm hearing this voice and it just made me so curious, like what is going on? And I truly believe that this was the catalyst to my spiritual path because I started realizing that there must be more to reality. If I can hear this voice so loud where it's like something that I don't even know, like how do you forgive? How do you forgive someone that is no longer walking this earth? How do you forgive someone that's caused you so much pain and suffering? How do you forgive yourself when you've caused someone so much pain and suffering, but there's no way you can apologize? So I was just baffled, like I did not know how to process it all, but this voice wouldn't go away. It would keep being so firm and so strong and loud in my mind, like forgive. So that's where I'm at. So I'm hearing this voice telling me to forgive. Now I have no idea what that means. I have no idea. How do you do this? Like how do you forgive someone? And how do you forgive yourself without apologizing? That concept made no sense to me because obviously a lot of the times the way that I looked and perceived forgiveness is that you have a conversation, someone admits that they did something wrong or they take accountability, and then you kind of like learn and move on. But here it was like there was no opportunity for that because she had passed away. So it made me very curious, and as I said, I think this was the catalyst to my spiritual journey to understand what is beyond the physical, beyond what we can see. So I started searching for a lot of it, and I started asking questions, and I was just on that path of truly seeking answers within the spiritual space. And I started to reach out to different sources and just listening to a lot of things, reading a lot of books, and eventually I started to realize what forgiveness truly is. And forgiveness is doesn't mean that you condone what someone does or that you're okay with what they did. Forgiveness is truly an emotional shift within yourself where you're releasing the energy of resentment, of anger, of guilt and shame. So all the lower frequencies, it's actually something that you do for yourself. I wouldn't say selfish, but it's a cleanup. When you forgive, you clean up your own energetic field. It's not about condoning or saying that now that I forgive you, you have access to me again, or that you can treat me the same way again. It's completely only about you letting go of the emotions that are holding you so stuck down in the lower frequencies that are separate from love, joy, peace, because they're so low vibration. So it's truly about forgiveness. It's truly about something that you do for yourself to clean out your own energetic field, to let go of things that you hold on in your own heart. Forgiveness is truly never about condoning what someone else did or didn't do. It's never about saying that, you know, because I'm forgiving, I am saying that we can reconnect and we can pick up where we left. It is not about the relationship. It's about the energy, the frequency that you're holding. So forgiveness is about letting go of the baggage that you're holding on by not letting it go. because you're holding on to resentment, to anger, to frustration, to sadness, to guilt, to shame. These are low frequencies. They are not frequencies that you want to engage in if you want to live an abundant, peaceful, joyful, loving life. So you need to take accountability for that. Who am I and what is in my own field when I don't forgive? Again, as we go through life, we get experiences of what do I need to learn? What are the boundaries, and what am I okay with? What am I not okay with? Who do I want in my life? And does that align with my own values? So that's something completely different. Creating relationships that are conscious with people, that's very different to forgiveness. But forgiveness is something you do for yourself to set yourself free, because it becomes an self-imposed prison when you refuse to let go of the resentment or the guilt, when you cannot accept what you did, that you did a mistake. You need grace. You need to forgive yourself and let that go. And then when we know better, we do better. And that's it. And that's life. We have to go through the journey of experiences to learn to get the wisdom so that we can do better in the future. I know how hard forgiveness is. Truly, I struggle with it too, because it's like when you've been really hurt by people, or you feel like, you know, they owe you something, they owe you that apology, or you owe someone the apology, and if you do that, you're admitting to like, I'm a bad person. It's not about that. Forgiveness is always just going to be about the inner energetic shift. It is letting go. It's finding surrendering and acceptance for what is, what has been, but being able to look to the future. So you're not bringing that baggage, and you're cleaning up your own energetic field. And it's so important to understand this, because I think a lot of people we hold on. I'm talking to my friend. We hold on for so long, not realizing that it's a disservice to ourselves and to the version of ourselves that just want to magnetize more abundance, more love, and more peace. And we think that, you know, by not forgiving someone, that we're standing in our power. No, it's so disempowering. It's so disempowering not to forgive, because you're not realizing the potential of the life that you can be creating by letting it go energetically. Now, as you move forward in relationships, of course, you're going to have different boundaries. You're not going to be okay with certain things. You're going to learn to communicate that. What else can I say about forgiveness?
How do you come to the place where you feel the forgiveness and actually integrate it in your body, not just intellectually?
So I think when it comes to truly feel that you forgive people, it is to create an inner space of love and peace and joy. And I think intellectually, a lot of the times we need to understand the perspective. So for me, a lot of the things when it comes to integrating things in my body is understanding that I'm both the light and the darkness. It's so easy. The ego constantly wants to make us, I'm the good person and someone else is the villain. We're playing this game of hero and villain all the time, which means that we're not integrating and seeing that things has light and darkness. We're both. And we need to be able to elevate our perception to be able to look at it all. What am I responsible for here? What's someone else responsible for? But also trying to see that there's a bigger perspective, I would say. And I think always when we look at the reason behind the reason, and we can start to see that, you know, hurt people, and when you start understanding the unconscious, subconscious mind, that people are doing things thinking that they're doing the right thing from the level of consciousness that they're operating from. So I think having that grace and having more of an elevated perspective of human nature and how we behave when we're in that fight, flight, survival response, and how we will treat people in that, I think that will help, because then you can have love for all that is. It's a hard task. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's the only way to truly inner freedom, when you learn to let go and you learn to truly forgive.
Well said.
You think?
Yeah.
Am I missing anything? I know, like, I just want to like give you grace too, that I know how hard it is to forgive, but trust me, I learned it the most crazy way by my mom dying, and I not being able to like, okay, how do I forgive her? And how do I forgive myself? Like, it was the toughest thing, because I was so filled with so much guilt and shame, and also just like the things that she had done. But at the end of the day, like, when we start looking at the true nature of who we are and not what we've done, you can find love for people. And the more you're cultivating an inner state of love and peace and joy for yourself, and not living in your victim mentality and just like life happened at me, you're finding the perspective, okay, life is happening for me and through me, and as I'm on that journey, I'm learning to see humans and myself with flaws. And I think that makes us have more grace for each other and our mistakes. I know with myself, I've been very hard on myself. I'm such a perfectionist. I hold myself to a very high standard, which means that I've been very hard on myself. A lot of the times, you know, I think I'm kind and gentle, but I'm really hard on myself and I expect perfection, which means that I think a lot of the times maybe I didn't have as much compassion and grace for other people's mistakes as I thought I did. So I think it's so important. The more you're cultivating self-love and acceptance and creating that type of space within yourself, you're going to become more softer to other people too, and realize that, you know, sometimes what we perceive is not truly everything, and that you can have more of a perspective of both polarities, that they're always, you know, there's a scale and there's always two sides. It's not just one way. It's just the way that we see it through the lenses that we're watching it through. And to truly be able to forgive, you kind of have to rise to a higher consciousness and be able to see things from a higher perspective and not just your own tinted, I mean, skewed, but based on what we've been through, we have a certain perception of things, and that's what we're going to project all the time. So forgiveness is truly freedom. It's never something that you're doing to condone someone else's behavior. It's truly to set yourself free emotionally and mentally. We need to understand that we're energetic beings. We have an energetic field around us, and holding on to resentment, guilt, shame, these are low frequencies, is a disservice to yourself, because you want to thrive in life. You want to be magnetic. You want to be full of joy and peace and love and abundance. And if you're stuck in these low frequencies, it is doing a disservice to yourself. So this is about your own heart. It's not about anyone else. Now, and when it comes to relationship, I mean, that's a different journey. But when it comes to forgiveness, let go, let go, let go, let go. Accept what is, have love for it, and understand that. And try to be curious. I would say something that's really helped me is to be curious. What has it taught me? What is it trying to show me? What am I holding on to that I'm not seeing? And that's something you can do with prayer. To ask Spirit, reveal to me what is hidden. Show me. I'm willing to let go. I'm willing to forgive. Show me how to do it. Because a lot of the times things are, humanly speaking, impossible, and they feel so hard to do. So a good thing can be to ask in your prayer, just talk to yourself mentally and say, I am willing to let go and forgive. Please show me how to do it. And trust me, you will be guided. You're always guided, and you will be guided, and your mind will start seeking it out to confirm whatever the bias is that you're asking for. So ask Spirit to lead you, to guide you to how to forgive if it's really hard. Yeah, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I would just add that forgiveness is the highest act of self-love, because you're doing it for yourself.
Exactly. So what Netta said is that forgiveness truly is the highest act of self-love. It is not something that you do for someone else. It's something you do for yourself to set yourself free from low frequencies. So just know that when you're forgiving, you're not doing it for someone else. You're doing it for your own heart. You're doing it for yourself. And it's such a beautiful thing to learn how to forgive. And a lot of that comes to just acceptance, trying to see other perspectives than your own, and understand that we're all, just give grace, have grace for yourself, have grace for other people, that we're all just doing our best from the level of consciousness that we are operating on. I think if we all just try to forgive each other and to meet more in softer love, I think the world would look very different. But it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is beautiful, and it will set you free. It will just raise you up to higher emotional, energetic states, and it's just beautiful. So yeah, if I can encourage you to do something, learn to forgive, because it's beautiful And I love when Jesus said, forgive 77 times, and that's just internal, because it's all about you. It comes back to you have to forgive because it sets you free. I'm gonna wrap up this video. I think this was a great to first start introducing forgiveness and the beautiful spiritual practice that it is. It is something that is so empowering, and it will just set you free. So if you would want me to create more in-depth how-to, maybe a 3-step or 4-step process of how to forgive, please leave it in the comments. Any questions you have in terms of forgiveness, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope this was soothing to your mind, body, and spirit. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.